Hello there, everyone. This is Soul017 here. Let me get first, like usual. Don't this picture, non-paid video. Alright, okay. So, here's the thing. I'm only going to be covering this part up to a certain point. So, yeah. And I'm going to try and make this maybe an hour, 40-minute long. Or 2 hours, depending. Alright? Yeah, so there is going to be a certain part where there's something's gonna happen. Like, I'm not gonna say, but people have given me only 3 classes, and I only chose one. I was choosing one, and I was researching it. It's called Phantom, and then it came from another video game, and I was like, wondering, okay, since Suzuku has a katana, it's good. I can then, and then basically it has like a feature with a rifle, but I can change it to pistols, and then it had like a staff. I could change that to arrows. But then someone says Demon Slayer, so I thought, combine them. But since someone did, they did put down as a third one, and there were only the 3 people that did, I am making it. I'm keeping the last part, the last name. A secret for now, because just know those. And I already came up with the entire speech it does. So just know it's gonna be really overpowered. It's gonna be really crazy. And I'm making up skills for it, along with different things he can get. So yeah. But we all know what's gonna happen. What basically title he's gonna, not title, what job title he's gonna get in this. So yeah. But anyways, let's go into the video. This is what if Deku had solo leveling system part 3. And this series, I do not know how long it's gonna go, but as soon as we hit a certain part in the overhaul arc, after that's over, boom, we're doing only solo leveling freaking stuff happening in the My Hero Academia for a majority of it, because I don't read the manga for My Hero, but I technically do just want to focus on solo leveling after that part. That's why I think I will need to divert into it, but no, a lot more things will happen. So yeah. But anyways, okay. So, as Izuku, like we left off, he used 500 points into his stats, and his stats are still the same. He's level 90. He thinks he's at a good level for this, and he still has 51 points to put in. And so he basically is going to go. He basically walks in the portal, not knowing what awaits him. And because of this, when he enters, he thinks, wow, there's nothing around. As Mika does, still there, she basically says, sorry, but, she says, Izuku, be prepared for anything, alright? He goes, yeah, I will. So, he walks for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, he doesn't seem, he basically just walking in an endless hallway, as in he hears the sound of something, some footsteps are being coming to him, coming towards him. Basically, he doesn't know what it is until it comes to the light. It's knights. He goes, some knights, huh? All right, let's see how you guys fare against me. So he takes out his daggers. They don't, he goes in to attack. They don't do much. Also, I forgot to mention, someone did tell me about Sun Jinwoo's health and basically MP. So I did not write that down, but just note it's in the video. I mean, it's in the comments. So if you guys are wondering, you guys can go look at that. And I did not want to write it down. My apologies, but kind of got lazy. Had to do some work. Also, had to split wood a little bit today, so that was another reason why. But yeah, but anyways, so basically, Zuko then switches to katana. It, it does a little bit, a little bit more damage than the two blades, but it's hard to pierce through the armor. So he thinks, all right, the bullets are gonna do some good. They're ineffective, including the bow. He thinks so. He just uses brute strength, and well, he does vital strike and critical strike, and boom, he punches right through one, sending it flying to another one, then runs straight towards one, just kicks it to the side, destroying it. He's, he knows about he's not gonna be able to level when he levels up. He knows he ain't going to get any recovery items or such. So he's thinking, I can't heal, and I won't get no bonuses if I do. So I gotta be careful. While he's fighting, he's thinking of this. So during the fight, after 5 more minutes is over, he took down about 10 of them with ease. After that, he starts walking again, but then his senses, activate, and then he brings out his dagger and hits one right in the chin, killing it. As Zuko goes what the? Just like that one guy I killed. Huh. I guess this is gonna be recreating all my fights. As Miko just says, be careful. A lot of them seem like their defense is high, and that's what's giving you the problem. He goes, right. As in he goes in, he fights all of them, and well, after that, he does. What he gets is, he basically gets a high knight's chest plate. I forgot to mention by killing one of them. He got it randomly. This gives 7 plus physical damage, resistance. Then that's a B rank item. Then a C rank archer gloves, B rank high knight gauntlets, which prevents hand injury from swords or I think anything. Then high mage ring, assassination boots, which they're rank B. He got them. He goes, huh, interesting. So basically, he goes into his inventory. Not his inventory, into the forge. And then he goes to equipment. With the necklace, he was able to increase it. But with these, he basically, what he does is, he starts to upgrade them all once. And, he does, check to see if he could, upgrade them even further. After he did it all once, it was only one time he could. He needs to go back in some dungeons and do some grinding. Not for levels, but for items only. So, he goes, huh. Well, good thing I always have enough keys on me. I can always go into one of the dungeons I have. Miko just say, it's very weird though. He's just walking along. There's not much enemies at all now after all that. He goes what do you mean, Mika? She says, usually, she starts to, say that for some reason she remembers a man in a world where there are people called hunters. Which she was wait, what? Hunters? Explain. As she explains it, they awaken, they have special abilities or powers. There's fire class, fighter class, and tank class, swordsman class, and all that. As it was all right, I understand that. And then they go into what the gates are. They appear though, and that's when right around the time when people started to awaken. And so, people became hunters and they hunt. And then there was the weakest one who nearly died and became a player, like you, Izuku. His name was Sun Jin Woo. That's what we named the kid, Sun, like Sun Jin Woo, like I said. So yeah, I just want to just say that again. But anyways, so he was like, okay, that's weird. That was the kid's name. As she goes, yeah. But so what happened next is that he became very powerful, and I don't really know what happens much. All I know is that he became a really powerful player. He goes, huh. So that means something. Am I like him anyway? She goes, oh, no, 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 no. You're not. You're different. This whole entire system didn't do anything for him like this. As she's referencing the forge, the him like attacking like people that have like killer intent on him, and yet he can override that to where he can just say disarm them by breaking their arms and legs, just to send them into the hospital. In which she's very surprised about this. He was like, oh, huh. All right, that's kind of a good thing. She goes, mm-hmm. As they, get into a door, which Izuku just like kind of like has a sweat going down his face as Miko asks, what's wrong? He goes, this feeling feels like if I open up this door, I may die. Well, there's no point of wasting time, right? And she goes, mm-hmm. You just gotta face it head on like you always do, Izuku. And he goes, yeah. Come on. I forgot to mention, he did get some gold. Say the same amount of gold that he got and like Sanjay Wu got in solo level 1. He got the same amount. So I'm not gonna, anytime I know where there's gold, I'm not gonna, say the exact amount. But he gets that. He's basically, the gold that he already have, he basically has it in there now. So yeah. But basically, he opens the door as he's, just takes a couple of steps forward, as then he sees something. Red armor, a long sword, and a cape. Just walking towards an empty throne, as then the name is red. As it says, Blood Red Commander Igris. As Izuku says, figures. Alright. As he cracks his neck, basically, saying, let's see how, good you are at this, Dad. As he just, summons out his katana. As, Igris kind of, doesn't look shocked, but it's kind of just has a look of wonder to Izuku, which kind of feels weird. He doesn't understand why, though, but he can tell. As then Izuku just says, alright, enough games. Let's do this. As then he basically, activates sprint and just dashes right towards him. As Igris just dashes right towards Izuku, and they both clash right in the middle. Izuku can feel the strength of Igris' sword and Igris himself, and just thinking, okay, I know my strength is 206, but man, this guy's tough. I can't even do nothing. It feels like I'm being pushed back. As he starts, being pushed back. And then, he's able to then move Igris' sword to the side to the point where Izuku can try to hit his arm, which the sword does not even go through the armor. As he goes, crud! As then Igris grabs Izuku, throws him into the wall, and just he basically basically is implanted right into it. And then Izuku basically switches. Then basically he summons out one of the pistols and just shoots Igris, as Igris is able to block with the sword. As he just smiles, he goes all right, hold on. And my dad's in the bathroom. We got the pause. Izuku just smiles and says, "This ain't gonna work, huh? I'm probably gonna die from this," as he's thinking, and then he just, has the gun and the sword go away. As then he says, "Bare hands. Let's see how strong you are with them." As Igris, throws down his sword, the cape, even the knives in the back of him. He throws down. He goes like, "Chivalry. Thanks." Igris nods, and they both go, dashing towards each other. As Izuku, starts throwing, punches as fast as he can. As Igris is able to dodge most of them, but Izuku, used critical strike plus vital strike. It hits him right in the side, which does a little bit of something, but also Igris, had his hand. Alright, so my dad's TV's on and the door's open, and I did not realize that, so if you heard any sound, don't own that. Don't know if it was on TV. So, yeah, but as basically, Izuku says, "Oh crap," as in, basically, Igris throws him back into the wall, but when he, gets implanted into it again, Igris is throwing a punch as Izuku basically, blocks it with his basically arms, and well, he loses a lot of health. As then a passive skill activates, and he goes, "Wait a minute, I have a freaking passive skill?" And it says passive skill Perseverance. Perseverance. As it reads, he takes 50% less damage. As he goes like, "Oh, cool! Thank you, thank you, leveling system." As then, Izuku then gets out of the wall and then throws a kick right to Igris. As an Igris, catches it, and then he's able to then throw another one. As Igris, then catches that, and then Izuku basically then he had his hand on the ground as he pushes himself off, and then throws a punch at Igris' head, which Igris then smashes his head into, his fist, as he thinks, "Okay, that hurt." But he was thinking, "Ow, ow, 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 ow! Don't show no pain. Don't let this guy think you're in pain." As then Igris then throws Izuku right over to the throne, and what happens next is, well, as you think, he gets hit into the wall. He falls down, lands on our throne as he's coughing up blood. Mika saying, "Izuku, are you okay, Izuku?" She's seeing his health going down. She goes, "I don't want to do this, but Izuku, you have to take a health potion." As he's not responding. She goes, "I can't do anything." She's freaking out as Igris, summons out his hand, his back to his sword into his hand. As when he gets over to Izuku, his hand over his head as he's about to, puts his sword, over his head. Then, as when he's about to, come straight down in the motion of swinging down Izuku's, basically neck, Izuku dodges it and puts his dagger right into his, into Igris' eye, giving him the same mark that, Sun Jin-woo has, done to him. As then basically, Igris goes flying, he's going backwards, and then Izuku then throws a critical punch and vital strike, sends him flying. Okay, just want to explain this. Igris is over his level by 100 points. Alright, just want to say that. No, he's leagues out of Izuku's level, but because Igris was not on guard, he's able to send him flying. As then Izuku dashes towards him, going up to his basically face, kneeing him, and then as Igris grabs a dagger, Izuku basically summons it back in, and then he goes just does vital strike, vital strike, vital strike, vital strike, vital strike, vital strike, just into his eye. And then stabbing him right into the chin, basically underneath the helmet. As Igris is dead, basically, he's just thinking, "Okay, that was a freaking tough boss. Oh God, why is it that he's as I'm level 90. I should have a better time. You know, as he can't even tell which, Igris level is, but he would only tell it's red. So he's guessing it's like, I don't know, like 200 times stronger than him. He's thinking like Igris level from Sanjin Wu's, since I made everything a little bit stronger, like 2 times stronger, for heroes and their quirks and all that. So the enemies of these isn't what if it's gonna be a lot stronger. So Zuko was very under level, but he still somehow managed to win. He did gain some level up. So let's say he leveled up once or twice, like only 2 times, so he's level 92, but he did not get no points and like no additional, that's why. So that's the thing. He levels him up. It does not give him back in no health. Does not let him get points. It just leveled him up. That was it. So all his stats are still the same. So yeah, as Izuku basically, actually, wait, no, I gotta go do something. Actually, well, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to wait until my dad went to his room, so it took a while. But as I remembered, Izuku, killed Igris, and he's, basically, I explained he was, leagues above Izuku, and the stats did not matter because he's leveling only up to being like 92. So that was it. Yeah. Alright. So and then he's taking a breath. Miko, comes over and says, and just she can basically touch him, so she can hug him, and no one else can see her. So it's so she hugs him, saying, "Good job, you completed it." Just all that she thinks, and then Izuku goes, "Nope, not yet, but items." And she goes, "What?" As then Izuku basically gets Igris's helmet. Red Knight's helmet. As this is a plus 15 physical damage reduction, and then plus 30 stamina, and plus 30 strength. So, you know what that means. I think it was stamina, which is agility, and so then strength is also plus 20. So hold on. Okay, so his strength now is 226 and his agility is 250. If you guys want to tell me that, say, "Oh, I got it wrong," please do. Alright, okay. So as he then opens up the pouch, as it gives the same amount of coins that he has, like Sanjay Wu yet, 1 billion. So he's 3, 4, almost 4 billion now coins. I think that's what it is, 1,000 something hundred, and then something, which just makes it a lot. And then he has a rune, and then a heart, stone. Basically, it will have him get out of there, and the event will be over. But Izuku's thinking about it, and he's not going to do it because, well, he doesn't want to. And plus, but Zuko's looking at the other stone. It says Dominator Touch. And, well, he's wondering, what would happen if as in, all of a sudden, Zuko, sees a, reading saying that the event for the, job title, the job quest will now be, the job change will now activate, which then Zuko says, "I figure as much." And, basically Mika's going what do you mean? Because this was just trying to, a boss, technically a mini boss, as he said, quotes unquote, to see if I'm strong enough to, well, get this. As when portals activate and Zuko just takes out bow and arrow. He knows the arrows won't pierce, but with his strength now, he thinks he can basically pierce through them. And so what happens is, well, easily. There's like a whole bunch of knights come. Izuku runs, slides, shoots one arrow into one. It pierces it, basically, but it doesn't kill it. And he goes, alright, so I can do some damage with this. And then he just starts shooting arrow after arrow. And these arrows are infinite. Like, infinite arrows. But he hasn't made any arrows. I mean, the arrows is infinite, but he can then change them to be what he has. But he has not had any, thing. He doesn't know. He basically looked into every single level as he see if he can get some explosion arrows, shock arrows, just arrows he can use to help him. No, he doesn't have any. So just normal arrows, but they're piercing right through them. But there's more than he can handle. So he takes out 4 arrows at once, pulls back on the bowstring, shoots them all at once, basically hitting four basically knights, killing them. As a knight comes out of nowhere, tries to hit Izuku, as he dodges it, and then kicks it, sending it flying to another one, as he's thinking, alright, this is not going to be easy. And after a few minutes of fighting, it's not working. He's realizing that this is impossible to do, so he just gets rid of it, just do bare fists. And well, after a few minutes of that, it doesn't happen. It's not going the way it does. He's losing a lot of health very quickly, along with basically getting critical. I mean, basically he's a critical hit, which passive skill perseverance activates, and well, yeah. So he's going through. Mika's just watching this, horrified. His health is going down so low. It's basically the same level as Sun Jin-woo's now. As Izuku thinks he's gonna die. Again. No. He's saying, I can't die. I'm stronger. Hold on. As then, Izuku starts hearing a familiar voice. He goes huh. So, Izuku Midoriya. You think you can win because you got some unknown power. Something to make you infinite stronger than everyone else. And yet, in this world of quirks, you can't survive. As Zuki, basically sees his old self. And it's just what? Why? He goes, you can't win no matter how much you try. As Zuki just says, watch me win. Watch me survive. I'll do it. And you won't be able to stop me. As he's getting up. As he goes, I can't stop you. Come on. You can't do nothing. As, Izuku, does go into activate stealth, which then he does critical, strike. I mean, vital strike and critical strike exactly at the same time with his fist. Which I'm thinking the electric, going on his fist basically is the critical one. So, yeah, so basically hits one send it flying, but the mages activate detection, which basically finds him. Then all the enemies, do come at him. And he gets wrecked. He's about to get wrecked. But then all of a sudden, 3, 2, 1, penalty. As he's brought into, but before he even was brought into the penalty zone, his past self says, well, if luck was a stat, then you'll have the biggest luck of them all. See you next time. As then he gets put into the penalty zone. I'm gonna have to make some popcorn real quick because I need to go upstairs and I'm getting hungry. Everyone, I am in my room, so yeah, I just ate some popcorn. So it took a while. So, anyways, as I was saying, Izuku was transported to the penalty area. As he goes, so this is the penalty area. A lot of desert and well, hot. I wonder what's gonna be here. As then all of a sudden, some sandworms come out. He just says, "Figures." As in, and a screen pops up saying "survive for 4 hours." And Zuko was being timed, and all that time it was only 5 minutes. So yeah, so Zuko just says, "All right." Let's basically kill some monsters. As basically he just jumps up in the air, just starts stabbing one into the head, killing it. And he says, "I'm gonna become stronger, no matter what." And so, as a couple minutes pass, a couple hours pass basically. He leveled up. He leveled up about 7 times. Alright, so he is 99. But let me do my addition. Alright. Okay, so I added everything up. So since he's 99, his strength is 233, agility 257, sense 237, vitality 217, and intelligence 222. Alright. So, since Izuku doesn't have, fatigue, he does not take any health potions, but they can heal him. But he does start thinking, my dagger didn't do anything. Because of the knight's defense was too much. My bow and arrows were able to pierce it. Got enough money to buy the dagger now. It's the Night Slayer. So he buys it. Alright? He buys it, and then he starts thinking. Like the rune, remember that Hearthstone he had? He did not lose it. He still has it. So yeah. But it's in his inventory. He was like, alright, I'm going to keep that still in there. I'm not going to leave. I'm going to finish this. And so he buys bandages and wraps it around his hand, like what Sun Jin Woo does. But then he looks at the rune stone. And he goes, I wonder. As then he basically crushes it in his hand. As then he gains the skill, Dominator's Hand. And it does not consume any MP. Which he says, that's useful and it's versatile. But he does think about what Igris did with his sword. As he goes, maybe that's what he did with it. So he tries to move big objects with it, but he can't. He goes, alright, maybe I need to, get it to level 2 or 3, then I'll be able to. So that's what he's thinking. He does then, like with the dagger with the poison and the bleeding, he keeps, but then he basically transfers the dagger that he had originally to the Night Slayer one. And because of what he did that, he basically gave the Night Slayer a little bit of extra effect on it. So yeah. Basically the effect it doesn't have any, the dagger he used did not have any effect, but it added onto it. It says a critical hit every, like a 50% critical hit, and he smiles about that. And so he basically looks at all the weapons, see if he can increase them. He can't yet, so he goes, all right, gotta do some grinding later. Wait, I gotta go do something tomorrow. Cried. Alright. It's probably nighttime. As we go to Inko. She's looking at the time, and it's almost 2 in the morning. She goes, oh, Suku, please get home safely. And so, then she goes back to sleep. As then time runs out for him. As he's back into, the job change. And so he's looking at all the knights. He goes like, huh. They all, came. There's a lot more than I thought. Since a couple hours passed. And so, he basically just rushes right into it. Just starts hacking and slashing. Well, he starts basically slashing through the knights pretty easily. With the Night Slayer, which he's happy about that. Then basically, he dodges one attack. He thinks like these guys aren't, giving me any XP. Maybe it's not them I have to face. Maybe it's a mage. Yeah. So he basically goes invisible. Well, he uses stealth again, and then basically what happens? The same thing. Sun Jin Woo does with Dominator. I mean, not with Dominators, with the detection that they did. He basically is there, as then he throws the dagger with the bleed and paralyze effect, as then he gains the skill throwing dagger. As then he basically, it hits the target. He's falling down. He cuts right through that, knight. And it was a different knight from a different mage enemy. As then he basically used Dominator's hand, catches it, brings back his knife to him, his dagger to him, and then immediately goes straight to the other ones. And he basically goes right through, like, past some of the knights, goes to 3 different mages and kills them. All the knights are fallen. But then a golem knight comes. Basically they combined it all together. As, well, the last 3 mages. As then he just goes, whoa, okay, looks like a golem enemy? Huh, pretty interesting, huh? Alright, let's see how fast their reaction speed is. He's able to jump off of the golem and kind of see what it does. Because there's no time for this, he goes like, yeah, I know. I mean, it did say, I forgot to mention it did say survive as long as possible. So I was like, yeah. So he did say, I had to survive. Come on. Don't you think I need to get a little bit more time on this? She goes, no, just defeat as soon as possible. The mages, she says, not the golem. He goes, yes, yes. So he just runs over to the mages and, kills them instantly. So after all of them are, gone and fallen, it basically is time. He got it at 5 minutes exact. As then it goes through it says calculating, points. And so it does no healing, no using runestone, no doing basically time bonus, record timing, all that, exceeding expectations of the time limit. So yeah. As he's wondering, okay, what type of class am I gonna be? I basically have a sword. I also have daggers. I have a bow. Hold on, everyone. Hold on. I had to turn back on my fan. I don't know why. It's just getting really hot in my room. I have my door closed, the fire's on, and yeah. Anyways, and so he does say he also has, he can be a gunsman and an archer. But what to do? I can only choose 2. And so it says, selecting, it doesn't say select, it says choosing the class, first class. As there's what the, and then it says, we all know the necromancy. We all know that. And he also gained the title, the one who overcomes adversity. I think it's adversary. I may be saying that wrong, but who overcomes any obstacles basically. And it says necromancy. And he goes, what the? Basically, the job description was the one who, well, if go look at Solo 11. I did not write it all down. I would have done that, but we all know what it is. If you guys don't know, look up solo leveling, Sun Jin Woo necromancy description or something. You can think. But basically, it just says the one who basically goes through battles with carnage and destruction around him. A death awaits everyone that he brings down, and the force of his enemies feel the wrath of his army of the undead upon them. That just is like my own version, but shortened like to what it was. And then it goes like, okay, necromancy. And then it says promoting necromancy too. And then it says Shadow Lord. And she goes, what the freak? Shadow Lord? Huh. And then it says second class. He goes, alright, what's gonna be? Phantom. Okay. It's like I was saying, like basically the third name someone gave me, I combined all three of them together. So basically, I came up with two different names. It's Phantom Berserker Demon Slayer, or Phantom Demon Slayer Berserker. Write in the comments saying like one or two. Which one will you want to choose? But I'm gonna go with the one for now. If you guys say two, go with that one because it sounds like a little more better. Then yeah. And then it says, he was like, what the heck? That's a very long name. But, kind of interesting. Alright. And then it gives the description. The one who's passed through shadows, been overlooked through life, that no one has ever seen the truth from them. His path is darkness, basically. Path of darkness that he walks though, fighting many creatures of the night that are demonic and terrifying, that can never be hurt by anyone else but himself. His rage is in his blade, cutting through multiple enemies without sleep, without anything that is necessary. He only wants to kill those who have harmed innocents. And these are demons, basically. That's the description. That's what I best come up with. Sorry if it sucked. I kind of think it did a little. But, I try to think of on the fly with most of my what ifs. I don't really plan anything. Well, I have the story plan, but, everything else is just like what pops in my head, really. So, yeah. As Izuku basically says, do I get a promotion with this too? So it goes promoting to the highest level. As it goes like, okay, what's gonna be? Says, so basically, I'm just gonna go with the job title. Basically, is gonna be Phantom Berserker Demonic Slayer. Or no, let me think of a better one. Yeah. So this is the top one. So it says Ghost Berserker Demonic Slayer. As he goes, And so I did not have the skills down. But basically this is going to help him with his gun, katana, and archery. His bow and arrow, I mean. So, we all know what's the skills he gets for the shadow. With, the necromancy. The shadow extraction and shadow save. But with with the title he gets for this second class, it basically grants him, well, it doesn't grant him, it grants him a better sense and a better vitality. So basically, like, fast regen, but also plus 12. No. Plus 20 vitality and plus sense is 29. So, okay, so plus. Alright, so the job title is Walker between roads. So, I have no idea why that popped in my head, but, hold on. Alright, so let me explain that reasoning. Because the way how I make it sound, Izuku walks basically a path between, well, I was trying to make it like, he walks between, doing good, saving people's lives, and, killing basically demons. So, which is bad, because everyone thinks it's like normal, or, I don't know, I was just thinking of something like a job title that would work good for it, but, yeah, so that's it. As, skills he gets from the second one is, well, we're gonna go with Eagle Eye. I'm just writing it down. So he gets Eagle Eye and concentration slash. Just concentration. So hold on. Okay, so after concentration, he gets Shadow Walk, which allows him to basically turn himself into a shadow and basically pass through anything like walls or like fly through the sky. And then he gets Shadow Weapons, which he can just put his hand in the ground and the field will be covered in a shadow, but then he can basically have like multiple weapons and come out of the ground. And then Shadow Slash is with his katana. Basically, he can slash. It can go on fire, too. With since it's the blade, his katana has a burn effect, and it goes on fire. So when he slashes it, it basically will hit someone, cause them to burn, along with it also would cause like some damage. Because it's Berserker, he has a wrath that will basically increase his strength dramatically, and he has a Iron Skin ability, skill, which will have him take less damage and be more of a tank-ish person. I mean, mostly like a tank. So yeah. So which Izuku's pretty impressed by it, and then like he hears the sound of like screaming that sounds like to him, as it's basically the shadow extract. As he's thinking, let me try this. I mean, he read up on some classes, and one of them was necromancy. So basically, it says like input command. We're not gonna go with arise. No. I thought about it, and I would say this. I say, I would change it to arise. If people say, oh please, go for arise instead of what I'm about to say. So yeah, as basically, Izuku's, when he's about to do this, his, basically, everything, like Mika sees this. His hair, like the green part of his hair and his green eyes are starting to change color. It's starting to go blue. His eyes and his hair, as in, she's wondering, what the? And so Izuku then says, come forth. As all of the, basically, the knights and the mages that he had, that he killed, were summoned. And I'm still gonna say his max is about 30. Because I don't remember what it is, but I will change that. I'll make sure that he's able to get a lot, but I think it's more of his intelligence. But right now, the most soldiers he can have with necromancy is 30, and then what he can put into, as ones to save, is basically the same amount, 30. And so, what Izuku does, he's looking at them, he's just smiling. It was like, huh, so this ain't solo leveling no more. Cool. And then he thinks about Igris. Alright. He walks over, he basically says, this, sorry about this. I know I brought you back, but I want, it's no hard feelings. I'll still, have you around. And then he says, send basically 11 of these men away. 11 of the soldiers away. As then they put into, the shadow save. So, and then he goes over to Igris. He says, come forth. As it's ineffective. And he says, but Izuku's smart, so he's not going to order like Sunjin Woo did. He's going to say, wait, hold on, I think I forgot to add something. Hold on. Nope, I was wrong. I got everything right. But basically, Izuku is looking at the throne. And he's wondering, maybe that's why. And so he says, why serve someone that's not there no more? Empty throne without a king. When you can have someone, that you can be, using your skills properly to protect, to be by your side, to always have someone. How about you come work for me? So please, I ask you, come forth. As then Igris is starting, being taken over. Izuku's, as everything, all the armor on Igris is still the same way as this. Because now it's just all like blue and black as Izuku smiles. And Mika just says, Izuku, this is amazing. You did it. You got your 2 classes. He goes, yeah. And they're the highest one. I mean, he's looking back on it. It did say secret. They were the like hidden classes, and he accepted it. So yeah, that's why he, I didn't want to say it, but just so he accepted them. So yeah, Izuku basically, a portal opens up, and all of them goes into a shadow. Igris bows to Izuku, and then he bows to him, saying, "Thank you, and hopefully we can work together, Igris." As then the name changed into, instead of Blood Red Commander Igris, it just says Igris. So yeah, and then he goes into Izuku's shadow. So after Izuku passes through the portal, it is around, he checks his time, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. He goes, God, I want to go home. I'm so far away because I'm in the countryside. As then all of a sudden he looks at his the shadow walk ability. He goes, huh. He's reading it. It allows him to travel through shadows and anything else, as long as he knows where he wants to go. So he thinks, alright, home. And then he says, shadow walk. As his whole entire body is covered in shadow. His hair in the shadow form is blue, has blue flames coming off of it, just like Igris and the other soldiers have. And his eyes are blue. As then he just he sinks into the shadow, and then basically he comes out of his house, in his house, basically shadow, as he then sees the lights on in the kitchen, but he's thinking, okay, that was weird but cool. Alright, let's go. So he goes into the kitchen. He sees his mom made him dinner. She says, it may be cold, just reheat it for this long and enjoy. As he does, he follows the instructions, he eats it, and then he basically cleans it up, puts it, he does it all by hand, he lets it dry, and then he goes into his room. He goes onto his computer real quick, and then basically he does them, what he missed. I mean, well, he does what he missed, and then along with what he needs to do for like when he wakes up, but he doesn't want to do it. He just wants to sleep. So that's what he does. He does. He doesn't take that long. He just like does it all, and then he goes to sleep. So yeah. So Inko, the next like, that morning, Inko wakes up. It's around 6. She sees Izuku's back, but he looks very tired. So she just lets him sleep. She doesn't have work, so it's a day off. And this is technically the day of the USJ, everyone. Okay. So yeah. So Izuku sleeps till 12. No, he sleeps till 10:30. He wakes up. He goes take a shower. Brushes his teeth. Everything he needs to do. Then he walks out of out of his room after getting dressed. Goes into like the living room area. She goes, Izuku, what time do you get back? He goes, I got back around 3:01. 3 o'clock in the like, so, 3:01, Mom. It was really annoying. She goes, tell me about it. As he explained everything about Igris too, but he does like show her the necromancy. Well, not the necromancy, the Shadow Lord, as he summons out Igris, and then he basically shows her like the phantom, not the phantom, the ghost berserker demonic slayer, as he like passes through like the wall, while him coming a full on shadow himself. He goes right through the wall, comes right back out, and he goes, ta-da. She's just amazed by it. And Mika, appears in front of her, not in front of her, appears right next to Izuku, saying, like, isn't that amazing? He basically can travel through anything now. No one can stop him. Heck, I believe if he does this, when someone attacks him, the fist will travel right through him, and then, well, he basically won't be hurt by it. As Izuku smiles, he basically has Igris go back into a shadow. So yeah, he eats his breakfast. He texts Mina, Bakugo, Kirishima, and Denki, say if they want to hang out after school. They're on the way to the USJ. So like they tell him that they're gonna go to hero rescuing. Just basically rescue training that they say. And he goes like, all right, so you have to school. But, after that, Amika does say, do you want to go see how they do? He was like, really? You want to go see everything? He goes, yeah. And he goes, alright. So, he gets up. He puts on the solo jacket. Well, summons it, basically, on him. He goes, Mom, I'm going to go out. She goes, really? He goes, yeah. I'll be back. She goes, alright. So, he goes out. And he just jumps onto the rooftop. Nah, I'm just joking. He basically goes down and just starts walking to, well, basically UA. What happens next is, after like 20 minutes of walking, walking to a train station, getting to UA, and then basically, going to the gates. Well, not, and looking at it and see the security system. So he walks over. And he basically finds out, like, the area of the USJ. He hops over the wall. Well, he goes into stealth. And then hops over the wall. And just starts walking over to USJ. And enters the building before anyone else. Like, freaking 13 was already in there. I'm talking about the student-wise. He gets in there before, like, Aizawa and everything else. So, yeah. So then Izuku basically just waiting for them while he's in, he gets out of stealth. He's inside of a building area and just say, like, alright, let's wait for them. So after 10 minutes of waiting, they get in. And then all of a sudden, villains attack. He goes, what the? So everything's going similar, but Deku's not there. And then, what happens next is, everything, he's just watching from afar, seeing how Aizawa's fighting and stuff. And then, when the new move comes out, he sees how bad, after, Shigaraki hurt him, and the Nomu is just hurting like Aizawa, and Aizawa's just trying to fight back. All the students are, basically in different area now. As the system does say, fight off the monster and to protect protect Aizawa, protect the Razorhead. If you do not, if you do not, kill the monster and fight off the villains, your heart will stop in the next. But your heart will stop. As Izuku, gets on the full-on gear solo. As the next, he just backs away, jumps right through runs and jumps right through the window. Then he lands basically perfectly and just starts sprinting. And what happens next is a villain sees Izuku. As Izuku just punches the guy, sends him flying to another one. He basically gets out 2 pistols. And right in the middle of this combat, though, before he even sets off a fire, he looks at the gun, upgrade tree, and he sees the guns will change into rapid fire guns where it'll shoot multiple bullets at once, but then he can switch it also to basically only shooting one, as he upgraded it right then and there, as it does have a lightning effect on it that changes it appearance and everything, and all of a sudden he just starts shooting away at them. His eagle eye and concentration, since he uses them both at once, it helps him hit them in the knees and in the shoulders, basically where it'll hard for them to even move them as they're on the ground being hurt. He's taking them out pretty quickly. Heck, he even since he's in basically sprinting, he's basically taking them out really quick and fast. As I was seeing this, he goes, "Solo? No, how did he? Never mind. I have to take care of this." As then the Nomu is about to throw a punch at Aizawa, Izuku basically puts away the guns, and then just he gets right in front of the Nomu's punch, catching it. And he's basically looking at Aizawa. He goes "Huh. So, never expect me to basically be here, huh? Trust me. I had a weird feeling passing by UA, so I decided to stop by, see what was gonna happen. Lucky for me, right?" Aizawa just holding his arm that hurt. He goes "Thanks, but I didn't need your help." He goes, "Aizawa." He goes, "Razorhead. This thing deactivates this quirk." As he does, as it's still physically strong, he goes "Of course. Alright." This is our first mission, guys. No killing no one. But this creature, though, it ain't human. Then Shigaraki spilled the beans, saying, "Of course it wasn't. It was made to kill All Might. It has shock absorption. Oh my god, how can I always get this wrong now? Absorption, and basically, healing and it can heal itself. Regeneration quirk." As Izuku basically looks just thinks to himself, "Oh my god, this guy is so dumb." And Mika just started laughing. So, Aizawa goes "Who you talking to?" As all of a sudden the shadow, his shadow spread out. As in all of a sudden multiple knights and the mages and Igris himself comes out. As he basically says, he basically says, "Don't kill no one, guys, remember that." And Igris, "You and me on this guy, on this creature." As Igris nods, as he goes after, he basically runs at the Nomu and punches, the Nomu, sending it flying. As Deku takes out his katana, runs towards it, and does a shadow slash, but with fire on it. Blue flames, as it basically hits it. As it does burn, as Igris then slices off its arm. As Izuku says, it has basically regeneration quirk. It won't work like that. As it does regenerate, but the flames are doing a lot of damage to it. Izuku just says, "Alright, let's weaken it first." As he do sprint, he goes after it. He goes all around it, just start hacking and slashing Aizawa is, amazed by like his shadow army, his like shadow knights, what they're doing. He's wondering, how strong can this guy get? How strong is Solo now? He has his own army, and I can't deactivate them. As in, like, basically, what happens next is Izuku, or Deku, use Vital Strike and Vital Strike on it, hitting it in the side. Basically, when the Nobu actually is about to grab Izuku's head, this is when Igris slices off his head. And while it's in midair, he then catches it, holding it, and then basically gives it to Izuku, places it down, and kneel to him. As Izuku just thinks, this is crazy. I mean, if he could take me down this easily, just imagine. I would have died if it wasn't because of my dumb luck. It's not like a villain comes out of nowhere, he used Dominator Touch, and like has the guy's face, and then he just smashes it to the ground. And like everything that's happening, like Shigaraki goes over to one of the shadow creatures, and his quirk isn't working on him. He was like, "What? Why isn't it not decaying?" And then like he sees like, let's say it was like Shinso and Sue and Mineta. Like he sees them, and he runs over. As then Izuku tells like one of the knights to stop him. As three of them go after him. Like Kiryu, tries to use his warp, and tries to use his quirk on him. They pass right through it, and so like they one of them is about to to grab Shigaraki, but Kiryu gets him out of there pretty quickly. All Might appears as right after that, and then basically he says, "Fear not, students, for I am." As he does rip off the tie, he sees like the Shadow Knights taking down like the villains. He says, "Here?" And so he just runs down, but he just sees Aizawa. Izuku basically, after a few minutes, he calls them all back. His level does go up by 1. Oh yeah, I did forget to do something. Hold on. Okay, so now he's level 100. He has 83 points, and his strength is 236, agility 287, sense 234, vitality 239, and well, just because he should have like ability points now, because that's where I saw Sunjin have, and it's gonna be a 0 still, but his intelligence is 223. So yeah. So All Might says, Razorhead, what's happening here? Like, what are these creatures? And why are they attacking the villains? He goes, it's because of him. Solo's here. As Solo's right next, like, Igris is right next to him, and like all the villains are technically defeated. They were low ranking ones. He could see that they were like his sense says they were like level E, and All Might was like a level S. And even like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, if someone did mention about, I think I said I gave it to Bakugo, One for All. So yeah, Bakugo has it. If I made a mistake, let me know. I'll change it. I'll fix that in part 3. Part 2. Not part 2. Part 4, So, yeah. So, anyways. Bakugo, it was like, All Might was still looking. He has a candidate as Bakugo. He'll still give him the quirk. But here's the thing, though. I'm doing this. So, All Might, walks over to Izuku. To Izuku, he goes like, thank you, Solo, for helping us. But how did you get in here? He was like, oh, easy. My stealth skill, basically. He's like, oh, I heard about that. He goes, yeah, it's pretty handy. Sneaking into places that, can't be get into. I had a weird feeling about UA. Also, my sensibility told me about this. There's something up with this area. so I just followed it. He's like, thank you for your help, but we will need to take you in for questioning at least. He was like, Izuku basically looking at him was like, you have a very bad wound on you, do you? Which All Might goes like, what do you mean? He was like, so Izuku pulls out a health potion. He throws it to All Might. He goes, drink that. And then he goes over to Aizawa with this another health potion, tells him to drink this. And Aizawa says, is this? And then he just basically hits Aizawa on the head. He goes like, no, idiot. Just drink it. Stop being suspicious. As he goes, fine. So, so they drink it as All Might starting to feel his wound like heal. Like very, very much, like it's healed all the way. And Aizawa's like arm is healed too. He goes, thanks. There's no problem. Now, let me do something. As like all the shadow creatures and all like the shadow knights are going back into Izuku's like shadow. But he goes over to like the Nomu. He goes, what are you gonna do? He goes like, turn this thing into one of my shadow army. You gotta have some muscle. Brute strength sometimes. And this was made to kill All Might. Be dangerous if the guys get back hold of it. So it's better if I take it and use it for good. Which Aizawa says, what will you do with your shadow army, as you so call it? He goes, easy. Use it to protect the people I can. And protect the city if needed. And so Izuku then says, come forth. As the Nomu is starting to be developed by, the shadow. As it comes back to life. But from where its head is, the blue eyes are there. Its body has like flames coming off it a little bit. But its head, there is no brain. It's just like fire. So yeah. Everyone like came over and seeing this. Todoroki, seeing it as basically Izuku just kind of rubs pets the beak of the Nomu, and just says, you've been through so much, haven't you? Now you're working for me. We'll be able to have some fun. Alright? As the Nomu nods and it goes into Izuku's shadow. As Todoroki comes over towards him, he goes, you're solo, huh? He goes, yeah, I am. Got a problem with that kid? He goes, no. I want to fight you, see who's stronger. Me or you. As Izuku basically says, you sure about that? As then all of a sudden, a screen appears right in front of Todoroki and Izuku. As it says, Duel. Do you accept the terms? As, Izuku reads it, and he says, don't worry. If I get your, I'll be able to win. I'll get something from you. Don't worry. It's not giving you anything too much. You'll be able to keep it still. It just will help me out with my, basically anything I have. As he goes, you won't win against me anyways. I'll beat you solo. And so he accepts it. And Aizawa says, Todoroki, that's highly. You shouldn't fight this guy. He goes, Aizawa, if I fight him and win, we can question him later. Remember, as even All Might, All Might even agrees with Aizawa. He helped out, so he should be able to go. But Aizawa then says he's right. If he wins, we'll be able to question him, figure out who he is, what his quirk, all of that. So the fight commences. Todoroki's just using ice. Izuku's able to dodge it all. He's able to actually run across the ice pretty easily. He takes out his sword. And then it's on fire. As basically, he cuts right through it, the ice, pretty easily. Which Todoroki's like, what? As then Izuku just then kicks the ice, breaking it. He goes like, come on. You really think you're strong because of your quirk? I could beat you easily, kid. He goes, how? It was easy. As then Izuku then used critical strike and punches Todoroki. He was holding the sword in his left hand. As then when he punches Todoroki, he sends him flying, sprints again, and then kicks him right in, like slams his head right into the ground, basically. As he's Izuku then has the sword pointed towards his neck. It says, "Concede, you lost, kid." As he goes, "Fine, I've lost." As then Izuku, just has the sword disappear. It says, "Congratulations, you have won, to use fire and ice." He goes, "What?" And then he goes into his what he can do, if there is no magical spell, but then he goes into his weapons with the archery. He sees different types of arrows now. So he goes over and it says fire arrows have been added and ice arrows have been added. And he's like, "Yes! Finally! Thank you a lot, kid. I owe you one." He goes, "What do you mean?" He goes "You just helped me out get fire and ice arrows now. Thanks." As he basically looks at, Bakugo, Kirishima, Denki, and Mina. And then he looks around at anyone else. There's some students coming. He basically says, "Well, bye." As he then uses shadow walk, turns his whole entire self into a shadow, and then passes right through the ground, going out. Which All Might and everyone else, All Might and Aizawa, are thinking, "What the freak?" So yeah, so they called up the police. Everyone was arrested, and Aizawa reported to Nezu along with All Might, told them about Solo, and yeah. So Izuku, gets out of there. He basically went to an alleyway, changed out of it, and he goes home. He does tell his mom about what he did, and he even tells her about the Nomu, which she's pretty surprised that he was able to kill it. But he says Igris was very strong. He's outclassed me very much. I have a long way to go. She goes, "All right." So what happens next is though, he gets he gets a text from Mina, Kirishima, Denki, and Bakugo saying, "Hey, can you reschedule it? We had something happen to us. Can we reschedule for tomorrow?" Which Mizuku says, "Sure." Let's just say no, they say tomorrow or the next day. He goes, "Alright." So yeah, so basically the next day Izuku doesn't really do nothing else. He no. Izuku, he kind of doing some upgrading and shit. I mean, upgrading stuff to his equipment. Sword, it's he's trying to make it stronger, but he can't because not enough material. He's thinking, "Alright, I gotta go grind." Which, he goes out, he tells his mom he's gonna be back in the next 2 hours or so. He's gonna be grinding, for items, materials to, fight. To upgrade his weapons. She goes, "Alright, just don't be late." Says, "I won't." So, that's what he does. And because of this, he has an airing dungeon key. And so he goes into it. And, he just starts, it's beast type. It's basically a beast type monster. And so he changed his title to basically being Monkey Slayer. So yeah. So he kills some monsters. Even fights the boss. And he is now at level 10. He leveled up to 10 levels. So yeah, hold on. So yeah. So after that, he was all done. He basically is level 110. He has 296 in strength, 297 in agility, 244 in basically sense, 249 in vitality, and 233 in intelligence. So yeah. So that's what he does that day. That's after going through the 2 dungeons. two A rank dungeons, and then he goes home. He does his homework and schoolwork, and well, sleeps and rests. Then the next day, it was a weekend. He hangs out with, Denki, Bakugo, Kirishima, and Mina, and well, he says, when they're hanging out at the mall, he goes, "Yo, guys, what's up?" They're like, nothing much. It was so why did you guys, cancel our hangout, 2 days ago? And they just say, "Oh, villains attacked, and we met the guy solo." It was like, met. He looks at them like, going, like, really? You guys met him? And Bucko says, "Nah, we didn't. We basically just saw him. He had like these weird creatures with him. We don't know what they were, but hey, it was pretty cool how he, fought the that what did the guy call him? As what Kirishima Kirishima and Bago did hear him say it because of what they got there just in time when he did, for convenience sake. As Kirishima says, I think it was called a Nomu. He goes, yeah, that guy just took it, and like it went to his shadow. I mean, I don't know what's his quirk and all, but that's pretty cool. Denki also thinks it is too, along with Mina. Kirishima just says, it's manly. As Zuki just laughs at this, as, all of a sudden everyone notices. He goes, hey, Bucko says, Zuku. He says, Deku, why is your hair all blue now? What happened to the green and your eyes? They're blue too. He goes like, oh yeah, I just realized that yesterday. I guess it's part of my quirk. My hair changed color. My mom somewhat, I think she knows, but she doesn't want to ask. So, it's pretty cool. I think it does like fires on me, right? As Mina says, yeah, it does. As for some weird reason, like Mika comes out, like, appears. She says, Izuku, a portal's about to open up. As he goes, wait, where? As it's right in front of him. Basically, like, everyone's talking to him, like, they're looking at his face, but it's right in front of him, but it's right behind them. So when the gate opens up, all of a sudden, like, everyone's being, like, sucked into it, though. And Izuku, like, he's, basically getting sucked into it, too. He was trying to fight back, but he can't. So right when he, his body's like going into the gate, it starts to turn red. He goes, what's happening? As Miko says, I'll explain later. Just hope we don't go into a bad area. As then, heroes nearby are seeing this. As they say, hey, kid. As one of them tries to grab him, and he goes, don't talk, get away. Get the heroes. To have everyone get away just in case. If something comes through this. As, they do. That's all they do. They can't do nothing else. So, Izuku, Kirishima, Mina, and Denki and Bako find themselves in a snow area. And it's looking very, it's, weird for them. And they're like, what's happening? As Izuku just says, another dimension. We were transported into another world, guys. As he's all serious all of a sudden. They're all wondering, like, what the? As then all of a sudden, Izuku's sensibility, kicks in. As then he catches the arrow right in front of, Denki's face. Which everyone's shocked by this. As he's looking at the direction it came from. As he sees the, like, ice elves. But it's called the Hyaki. As, one of the elves, like, sees Izuku smiles and, like, does the finger, like, goes across the neck. As Izuku just crushes it. He says, I'm gonna kill you. With a smile on his face. And then, like, Buck goes, what the heck are those? He goes, like, those creatures? Don't know. Call them, like, they look like elves. And we're in a snow area. So, ice elves? As, Mika says, no. They're called Hyaki. Basically. And you're like, alright. Okay, everyone. Listen up. We're in an unknown world where you guys can die. And basically Buck goes, what about you? He was like, Mika. She's right. As she appears right in front of everyone. Well, she's right next to Izuku. She goes, allow me to explain. As she explains, well, the word like what a red gate is, as Zuko learned about it too. And then like, sorry, but and then Bako like asks, so what about Zuko? I mean, what about Deku here? How's he so special? As then he just says, easy. I'm solo. As Bako, Bako, Denki, and like Kirishima don't believe it. Mina goes, wait, really? You're solo? He goes, yeah. She goes, and Bako says, alright, prove it. As all of a sudden, the solo outfit appears on him. And then, well, he says, Igris. As like Igris appears, and he goes, any other questions, Bakugo? He says, nope. No questions, no, fighting you on this. Alright. So, he takes it away. He basically, like, has it, like, go back into where it goes into his inventory. And let's just say he crafts the coats that, he'll need to basically for them to, like, wear. And he gives them it. And it's infinite storage. They see, like, the storage item. And it's like, holy cow. Bakura says, okay, I'm kind of jealous of you. He goes, really? He was like, yeah. You're level 110. What was the level when you beat me in? And he goes like, 80 something. He goes, alright. So, they ask, should we go to the path or to the, he says, forest. We can get more materials there and items if we need it to survive. Who knows how long a red gate, will be in. And so they go into it. Like Mika does say, it could take like days. It's basically time will pass, like a day here will be an hour there. So yeah. So Zuko and everyone just goes into the woods. Mika's out explain some things like with Kaminari asked about. Same thing with Kirishima. Baku just looking at Zuko, just being like, did it happen when he was like, yep, pillars, metal beams falling on me, happens. He goes, no, it doesn't. It was like, yeah, it's true. It doesn't happen like that, but hey, got power, right? It's like, yeah, a power where the laws of this world don't apply to you. It looks like you're no Deku no more. It was like, you can still call me Deku. It's a nickname between us. Alright, Kachan? He goes, yeah. As he just smiles. So, Mika then says, Izuku, we're in Ice Bear territory. And he goes, huh, how dangerous are they? As then all of a sudden an Ice Bear appears. And he was like, oh, alright. He still has the job title Monkey Slayer. As he then just freaking punches it right in the face and it flying, basically killing it. And he goes, cool. So, let's just say they start surviving and doing what they need to do to survive. Izuku does it. And Bako helps along with everyone else. They're doing their part. Izuku does say he has to go train. So that's what he does. He does that. He does his 200 push-ups, 200 squats, 200 sit-ups, and then goes for his little run, 2K. He gets his items, just +3. I mean, he gets he gets his points to being +3. That's it. So 96. Yeah, and then everything else, let's just say Izuku basically does what he does for everyone to survive. He kills most of the bears, and then the ice bears he gains another level. And well, he's killing. He has the basically the knights kill the bears, then the boss comes as. Then Igris takes it down. And so he gains a level. So hold on. Alright, so I think I got everything right on it. So it's 247, strength 298, agility 245 cents, vitality 250, and intelligence 234. So yeah, so basically, Izuku, goes over to the bear, tells him to arrive, and he gets like a whole entire bear army. Yeah. And then, well, we're kind of spinning this along. The ice elves or the Hyaki come over and they're like in stealth. When Izuku get basically help, like took them like a couple of days. They survived, and like the ice elves come, and well, Izuku can understand it as basically says, it looks like one of them amongst the trash can survive, as in it's Baraka. As Izuku can understand, he goes like, well, it looks like the leader of the it looks like the leader of a forest spirits are here. As he goes like, he gets a little bit irritated. He goes like, so he goes, nifty comeback, but my name is Baraka, the leader, and you. He goes, Zuka Midoriya. What do you want? He goes, oh, easy, to kill you. That's all. Zuka just kind of looks at them, and he goes, really? He goes, yes, but one of my men here, as one of them comes over, the one that did the whole entire finger going across the throat thing, wants to fight Izuku, as he says, and we'd like to see who. As Izuku just disappears and the guy is basically killed. As Izuku basically looks at him and goes like, so, what now? As if he says, oh, you're gonna be quite amusing. And so, Izuku basically, jumps to like in front of everyone. And so Baraka says, I would like to have a deal with you. You kill all of your people, and we'll have you live. As Bakugo and everyone else is like, terrified by this a little bit. But Bakugo knows Izuku. Izuku right away just tells him, are you dense or are you an idiot? Are you an idiot or something? Tell me why you want me to kill them. Everyone's confused on like they Izuku can only understand, but they can't understand Baraka. So Bakugo's not questioning. No one's questioning it right now. So he tells them about the whole entire like he whisper in their heads, and then like suddenly stops. He repeats himself again, and Izuku just says, no deal. He goes, alright then, we'll just have to slaughter every one of you. There's only about 5 of you, and like so many of us. And he goes, only 5. Check your numbers. As all of a sudden he summons out all of his shadows, along with the bear, and the Nomu. And like, basically Igris is there now too. And so it's like, he's quite shocked by this. He was like, what is that creature? As he points to the Nomu, he was like, I don't know, but I'm gonna have fun watching it beat you. As he says, alright guys, take them all out. Leave no survivors. As all of them go out, like, all of them just go. And, like, Baraka goes after Izuku. The fight sequence goes similar to, the whole entire, like, Sun Jin Woo. But the difference is the Nomu is the one who grabs him, and then, like, then he dies. He gets hit by the fireball attack by the mage. As he survives it, he gets the Nomu off of him, but then it regenerates on its own. And then Izuku basically turned, like, used stealth and stabbed him in the side. And then, like, he goes, this is the end. And he goes, do you know who I am? As Izuku says, nothing. But then the Nomu grabs him and just slams him on the ground. Then he just starts wailing on him multiple times over. He goes, hey, calm down. As the Nomu does calm down, and he goes, God, I'm gonna have some trouble with you in the future. And Nomu doesn't understand, but then like Igris just sighs, leaves, and then like Nomu looks at the other Shadow Knights, and he goes like, yeah, as they do exactly the same thing too. So everyone's like quite shocked by this, and Izuku goes over to the Ice Elf. He just says, arise. as it doesn't work. So he says this. He goes like, "Is it because I beat you that you don't want to be summoned by me, or is it too high of a level for me to even summon you? You're too. The choice is yours, though. Do you want to live and fight again? By working for me, you can have so much entertainment, so much fun. It'll be worth your while. So please." No, he doesn't say rise. He says, "Come forth." I have to say, God, I'm thinking of Solo Leveling so much during this, but so he says, "So please, come forth." As then, like the ice, Baraka comes, basically, becomes a shadow, and only him. Now, a couple of the Hyaki, turn to shadow beings. What Izuku does is, he's, it's only like 5, but he sends those 5s into like the save, along with like the bears. There weren't that many bears. There were only like probably 10. Yeah, 10 bears, so 11, so 21, and then 5. Yeah, so that's it. The gate opens up, but Izuku does get the Baraka dagger. So, hold on, let me just tell you guys, it does give him plus attack 11. 110, and then agility 10. So, hold on. Yeah, by the way, I think attack is strength, so I'm adding that into strength. No, you guys can tell me if it is. I'm adding the 110 into the agility. Alright, so basically he leveled up by 2 also, so basically he has 249 strength, 310 in agility, 247 in sense, vitality 252, and intel 236. So yeah, so basically he also got the dagger, like I said, the Baraka's dagger, and the portal opens up. And it's been like, they've been in there for 3 days, so it's 3 hours. They come out, and like everyone's wondering what happened. Like, heroes are there, Miracle's there, Eraserhead's there, because you heard about his students were in there. So as soon as everyone comes out, like they're wondering how. So Eraserhead comes over and goes, "Students, what?" He says, "Bako, Mina, Kirishima, Denki, what happened?" Miracle sees Izuku comes out, and what happens is like he's just like calm, and they're like in jackets basically. And so Izuku's looking back at the portal as it closes. But, it looks like a little, like, something's, like, moved. And Miracle sees it. And she goes, like, what the? And she basically followed it. Like, followed where it was going. She runs over and she goes, "What's that?" He goes, "Solo? Yeah. He basically saved us. He got into the portal while everyone wasn't looking. Lucky enough for us. We survived." As, that's what, basically before the portal, before they went for the portal, Izuku told them to keep this a secret, because it's saying quirk, and he doesn't want anyone that has quirks to know this, because they don't want him try to experiment on him or anything. So they all understood. So yeah, so that's what they go with, and they're just glad they're safe. So they leave. They leave. They don't question them, and yeah. And Izuku gets home. He tells his mom what happened. She's proud of him for what he did. And it's good that you have some good friends. Mika is just happy for him. And happy that he got a new weapon. So he transfers the dagger of the paralyzed and the bleed into the Barak dagger. As it's stronger now. So yeah. So anyways, I hope you guys have a nice day, nice night. Stay safe, everyone. I'm going to end this because I'm going to need to get some sleep. So, bye, everyone. Oh, yeah. Tell me how good. All right, tell me if you liked the video. If you want another part, because I'm focused on this series just until I feel like I'm going to focus on something else for a while. So, yeah. You're going to see a lot of this. So, bye, everyone.